Hi guys, it's Georgia here and welcome to my question and answer video for Time to Talk Day 2016. I want to say first off, thank you very much for your questions. They're really good questions and I'm really pleasantly surprised that I got so many because I wasn't sure, you're never quite sure, are people watching it? Are people actually listening to my videos, and do they want to hear from me? So it was really nice. I really appreciate the feedback and the fact that you made this video possible. So I hope you've had a good Time to Talk day, and that you've had some conversations about mental health, because that's what it's all about. Reducing the stigma, educating people, and taking off the fact that it's a taboo, because it shouldn't be taboo. Because at the end of the day, it's something that affects. If it doesn't affect you, as in you directly, it'll affect you in some other way, because you'll know somebody who's got a mental health illness. Everyone is touched by mental health in one way or the other. So it's something that we really need to talk about and reduce all that stigma and negative reactions to it. Anyway, get on with the questions. I've had 5 different questions, and if you'll see the questions were posted on my other video, so thank you very much for that to both of you who did comment. If you want to look at the actual questions, do go and check out my previous video in the comment section. So the first question, and I thought this was a brilliant question, is when you're overwhelmed with emotions, how do you deal with it? So I have made notes of the questions in case you wonder why I'm looking this way. So the first one, what I try and do is I try to express those feelings, because if I'm overwhelmed, sorry, the cat is making noise in the background, I do apologise. So if I'm getting overwhelmed, even if it's negative emotions or good, I try to express them so that I'm no longer overwhelmed. The idea is, the way I think of it is, if you think of a pressure cooker, and you get things building until they explode. And if you can release a little bit of that pressure, then the idea is that you won't explode. So, to express them, I talk about it with people. I find that can be really helpful. I write it down. Writing is a big one for me. I can find it really, really helpful, to be honest, if I'm writing things down. Singing. Also, with my musical side of me, I can find it quite easy to express myself through singing. Sometimes if I put on a song that I can relate to, or a song that, like a screamo angry song, if I'm annoyed and I sing or shout to that, that can be a way of expressing emotion. And then also, another way, which is something that I find actually quite difficult to do, is let myself cry. Sometimes, if you're feeling really low, there is nothing that actually will make you feel better than having a good cry and letting yourself do that. Like I said, I struggle to let myself cry, so that's one I'm working on myself. But that's another way, obviously, of expressing your emotions, and it's okay to cry. So yeah, that's something else I do. I try to do something relaxing, such as self-soothing, so it's having a shower, having my favourite food, putting a film on that I really enjoy, doing things that I enjoy to try and relax, or I'll put some incense on, because I'm quite into my incense and my candles and things like that, so I'll do things like that to try to help with feeling overwhelmed, to reduce that pressure that I'm feeling. And then another thing, the last thing I've put down for this is, if they're negative emotions, I will try to turn them into positive emotions. And some of the ways that I do that, or try and do that, it doesn't always work. None of these always work, so it's try and try again, really. Is to try and, if I'm annoyed or if I'm upset, what I'll try and do is look at memories. I've got a scrapbook, I've got photos on my wall with mates and things like that. And I'll go through those to remind myself of happier times, with the hope of turning my mood around and making me feel positive rather than all the negative. So yeah, that's question 1. Very good question. I thank you very much for that. Second question, and it's something that I mentioned in my last video actually, another really good question, is what kind of routine helps me? Because I mentioned that I'm putting routines in my routine in place, and it's helping quite a lot. So my routine that helps, I find if I put in a regular bedtime and wake up time, that can really make such a big difference, because obviously sleep is something that is very important, and if I'm pretty sure everybody knows, if you're tired, everything's more difficult anyway. So putting a regular sleep pattern in place, I find, can make such a difference, because it sets you up for the day. If you have, even if you don't fall asleep, such as my bedtime, so to speak, is about midnight, 12ish, and my wake up time is between 10 and 11. So even if I don't actually fall asleep, what I try and do is be in bed for 12:30. Even if I don't fall asleep till 1, I'm still in bed, so my body is used to that routine. And then again, I'll wake up and I'll get up and I'll be up at a regular time, because my body, eventually you get used to it, and your body automatically then knows around 12:30, right, okay, it's bedtime, so you start to get tired, and yeah, that's one big part of my routine. Eating at regular times is another one. Trying to make sure that I'll have my main meal, my tea or dinner, around a similar time each day, and if I'm having breakfast, I'll have that at a regular time, and making sure that that's in place, because again, eating affects your mood in a big way, and obviously physical health. So putting that into place is really helpful. Something else I try and do is I try and do something, at least one thing that I do enjoy every day, and that's something that my psychologist taught me. She said it's part of part of resilience training, making yourself emotionally stronger, basically, and it's putting something that you enjoy in at least once a day. I do apologise, that is the cat making noise in the background. Anyway, so doing something I enjoy, which can be anything. Watching a film, reading a book, playing my game, playing the flute, piano, so anything like that. Just one, even if it's just one thing that I enjoy, even if I do it for half an hour, just anything like that. Trying to put that in, because then it's something positive in the day. Exercising once a week is what I'm trying to put into my routine. I haven't quite got on that one yet, but that's something else I'm trying to put in, to sort of, because exercise again can help your mental health in a big way and help you physically. So that's something else that I'm putting into my routine. And arranging things to structure my day or week. Now that one's quite a big one. I find that I have to try and put things in to focus on, because that way, that sort of keeps me going. It gives me a goals, like, right, okay, I know that today I've got to get this part of the chapter done on my studying, or I've got to spend at least half an hour practicing piano today. Just putting things like that in to structure my day gives me a reason to get out of bed and to, right, no, I can't do this because I've got to focus on studying or whatever it is. So yeah, that's something else. So that's the sort of routine that I find to be helpful at the moment anyway. So yeah, and it's taken, again, if you're looking at putting one in for yourself, which I would strongly recommend, this has taken me ages to be able to actually get into a routine, and every time I have a wobble, it goes away and then I get it back. So it's, don't worry if you mess it up and you can't stick to it straight away. You will get there. It's pure. Using stubbornness to make sure you stick to it. You use determination. So yeah, don't worry if you can't stick to a routine straight away. I certainly haven't been able to. So it's a lot of determination. But yes, that was 2. Number 3, I've just realised this video was long, so I do apologise. Number 3, question 3 was, are you able to work? Will you ever be able to? It's kind of a several part question. If I do work, what sort of impact does my mental health have on work, and how do I feel about the whole thing? Am I able to work at the moment? No. I lost my job in January last year, so I've been out of work for about a year. I mean, I did work, like I said. I lost my job January last year, so I think I will. Well, I'm very confident that I will be able to work again. But what I'm doing is I'm not forcing myself. I'm using this time to that I've got, because I have time to focus on me and getting myself well. So my plan is to focus on me, do some training, because I want to go into mental health work, which obviously you need training for, and it's the catch-22, whereas if you need experience to get a job, but you need a job to get experience. So I'm trying to do some volunteering, get some experience that way, and then get into mental health things. So yeah, I feel that I will be able to work again, and I'm definitely 100% planning on doing so. What impact I can answer what impact it had on my work. When I was in work initially, I managed pretty well, but as I had more things going on and I got worse, so to speak, my mental health got worse. I wound up needing time off, not loads and not for long periods of time, but it was happening more and more, and I found it hard because I was working in a supermarket. There was a lot of contact with people, so my anxiety played up, and I was getting upset in work and all that sort of thing, which frustrates me as to how I feel about it. It was very frustrating because I wanted to be able to work. I needed to work for money, but it was like I was constantly having to fight to be able to work. Every minute that I was on shift, I was having to fight to be able to stick with it and be there as time went on, which was so frustrating because it feels like, this is something else my mental health is getting in the way of and taking away from me. But yeah, I mean, I'm changing things again. I'm changing my. I mean, I never wanted a career in a supermarket, so I'm using it, as a chance to get into doing what I want to do. So yeah, that answers that one. Number 4, it was describe a typical day of your life. So basically, I kind of touched on it in the routine question. Typical day would be wake up 10:30, 11. I do some studying with my open degree for about an hour, a couple of hours maybe. I'd then do my posts for the Personality Disorders Awareness Network that I volunteer for, putting posts online and things. So I do my work for them, and I'd then go down to Pont Havrim, which is a local mental health charity that runs like a drop-in day centre, which is an absolutely invaluable resource, and I love it. And these are the guys that I do a little bit of volunteering for, and I'm going to hopefully be doing a lot more with them. So I'll go down to Pont Havrin, and from then I will chill out. I will just sort of relax with my friends. There's always things going on at Pont Havrin, so there's like games nights and quizzes and takeaway nights and classes and things, so I'll go down there and I'll do that. And then when Pont Havrin closes, I'll come back here, I will do myself food, and then I will try and relax. I mean, I've got a few more things going on now. I'm doing drama again, I'm having music lessons and all things like that. But when I'm if I haven't got anything on in the evenings, I'll come home, do myself food, and then do something I enjoy, which generally for me is watching TV or Netflix and going on the PlayStation and gaming. So that's generally how I tend to unwind in the evenings. And then I'll go to bed, and it's the same sort of thing the next day. Obviously, things that I need to do, I do. And that's a typical bog standard day for me, really. So that's number 4. And number 5, I apologise for the length of this video, is how do you deal with friends and family who don't understand your problems? And again, another really, really good question. And by the way, if you do want me to go into any more details on any of these questions, just pop in the comments and ask me either ask me directly and I'll message you, or ask me to do another video. I don't mind at all. So how do I deal with them? I mean, I'm very fortunate in the fact that most of my friends have got their own mental health issues or know someone who has. So I'm very fortunate in the fact that a lot of them understand to a large extent anyway. But like, there are obviously people who don't understand. There's a lot of people I've come into contact who don't. And the way I try and deal with them is by trying to explain things to them. And just talking to them, really. Just having conversations and saying, trying to put it into ways that they will understand. Such as the self-harm. A lot of people struggle to understand that sort of thing. And so they'll say, well, why do you do it? Or what do you get from it? And I'll explain, for example, if they're a smoker, I will explain it as the fact, well, it becomes a habit, and it's that stress relief. That is what it is essentially. It's a stress relief. It's a coping strategy, and yeah, and trying to explain it like that, explaining it in ways that people will understand, that they can relate to, and if they've got any questions that I can't answer, I will go on the Internet Mind website. I find very, very helpful for things like that. So I'll go on there and I'll send them information, or I'll ask people and have conversations with my friends. Well, how would you answer this? Or, but yeah, it's trying to educate them, really. That's to help them to understand. That's generally the best way that I have found to try and deal with it. Some people just don't understand, but I think some of that is because they don't want to. I think everyone has got the capacity to understand, or try and understand, at least to a certain extent. If they're flat out refusing to, then that's because they're refusing to, not because they can't. That's my personal opinion. Because you can relate to something, generally. Pretty much most people can relate to something. But yeah, so I think that's the way I tend to deal with it. Personally, that's my strategy, so to speak. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but I think that's the main thing I do, is talk to them and try to explain. And I share things that I find, raising awareness and things like that. So yeah, I'm going to shut up now because this has been almost 20-minute video. So if you get to this point, congratulations for putting up with me going on for 20 minutes. Well done. You deserve a reward. But yeah, I hope you've liked this video. Thank you very, very much for the questions. I really, really appreciate it. If you want me to do more videos like this, give it a like, give the video a like, let me know, drop me a message. You can get hold of me quite easily, and just let me know. I've got a couple of other videos lined up following this one, but if you want me to do more question and answers, just drop me a message. And if you don't want that question answered on a video, then you can just ask me to answer it privately. I don't mind either way. Got no problems. So yeah, thank you very, very much for watching. This is for Time to Talk Day 2016. I hope you've had some conversations about mental health today, and I hope you're all doing well. Take care of yourselves, and I shall see you soon. Bye guys!